Well, there are some big changes coming to Military Space A, and these are changes that I think veterans are going to want to know about. Today, we're talking about something that's making big waves in the veteran community, recent changes to the Patriot Express, or PE for short. Now, before we move on, if the information in this video is of value and useful to you, if you want to hear more about military travel or other great destinations, then I'd invite you to hit the like and subscribe button. It's free for you, and it helped my channel a lot. So thanks. Now, if you're a veteran who's new to space available travel, or you've heard about these flights but aren't sure what they mean to you, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand what the Patriot Express is and how it's changing. Some of you might be asking, what is the Patriot Express and how does it fit into military Space A travel? Let's start with the basics. Space A stands for Space Available. It's a benefit for certain members of the military community that allows them to fly on Department of Defense aircraft when there are extra seats available. As we know, these flights are mission-driven. That means moving cargo, repositioning aircraft, and moving space-required passengers is always the first priority. And when there are empty seats, eligible passengers can hop on. That's space available. Space A flights can be military cargo planes, which mean web seats and no frills, or Patriot Express flights. These PE flights are chartered commercial-style flights that look and feel like regular airline travel. The Patriot Express is often called the Rotator, and it's operated under contract with commercial airlines. These flights typically originate out of places like Seattle-Tacoma International Airport and Baltimore-Washington International, among others, and they connect to U.S. bases in Europe and the Pacific. What makes Patriot Express different? Well, compared to a C-17 or a C-5, Patriot Express flights are predictable, scheduled, and way more comfortable. You get assigned seating, baggage allowances, meal service, and it feels more like the commercial flying experience that you're used to. For some Space A travelers, Patriot Express is their preferred or only way to fly, particularly veterans who may have more limited mobility. For families moving on PCS orders, the Patriot Express is often the lifeline, connecting them to their overseas duty station. But when there's extra seats, eligible Space A travelers may get the opportunity to fly along. So you might be asking, what's changing? Well, here's the big news. On July 1, 2025, U.S. Transportation Command announced that Patriot Express flights will end service at several locations overseas effective October 1, 2025. Those bases losing PE service include Incirlik Air Base, Turkey, NSA Naples, Italy, Naval Station Rota, Spain, NSA Sigonella, Italy, and NSA Souda, Greece. So basically, the whole Southern European route for Patriot Express is gone. USTRANSCOM said in a press release the decision was made after a comprehensive review of passenger demand. Simply put, ridership on the Patriot Express at these locations was too low to justify the cost. Now, let's be clear. Before you panic, don't panic. This doesn't mean all Patriot Express flights are ending. Major hubs in Europe, like Ramstein Air Base in Germany, and bases in the Pacific, such as Yokota in Japan or Osan in Korea, will still continue to operate. But the network is being reshaped to reflect where the demand actually is. So to clarify a few points, let's talk for a minute about who is eligible to fly on Patriot Express. This is where it gets important for veterans. Eligibility to fly the Patriot Express to foreign destinations, and that's really what we're talking about, is controlled by Department of Defense Instruction 4515.13. Sometimes we refer to it as DODI 4515.13. I know that's a lot of jargon. Here's a simple breakdown on who's eligible. First, active duty service members and their dependents. Second, retirees drawing retired pay and their dependents. And fourth, certain categories of DoD civilians and contractors may be eligible, but their travel is often very restricted. So if you belong to any of those three categories, you're probably eligible. It's also important to know who is not eligible to fly to foreign destinations on Patriot Express. These are folks who are not immediately impacted by this policy change. That list includes 100% disabled veterans who are rated permanent and total. You are eligible for domestic space aid travel within the U.S. and its territories like Alaska, Hawaii, yes, those are states, Puerto Rico, and Guam. But, and this is the important part, you're not eligible to fly space aid to foreign destinations. And so this policy change does not impact you. The next group are gray area retirees. That's those who have qualifying reserve service but aren't yet drawing retired pay. Another group not eligible for foreign travel via Space A are members of the Drilling Reserve or National Guard. That is, unless they're on active duty orders. So if you fall into one of those groups, I'll point you to another video on this channel where I go deeper into the why. The video is entitled No Space A to Foreign Destination for Disabled Veterans, and that can be found right here. Be sure to check that video out if you want the whole story. What this means for veterans? For most veterans, the Patriot Express sounds appealing, and it can be. But remember, your eligibility is the deciding factor. If you're a retiree with full benefits, PE flights to Germany, Japan, or Korea might still be an option for you when seats are available. But as we discussed, if you're a 100% disabled veteran, a gray zone retiree, or an active reservist, unfortunately, you'll not be able to use these overseas Patriot Express flights anyway, because like myself, you're limited to domestic travel, at least for now. These important changes announced by USTRANSCOM in July simply mean there will be fewer overseas locations where Patriot Express operates, but the overall Space A system remains, and veterans who qualify can still use it. So, to wrap this up, the Patriot Express is not going away, but it is undergoing big changes at certain bases starting October 1, 2025. It's too early to predict exactly how these will affect the overall system, but they may result in more competition for flights to Germany among Cat 6 travelers. I know a lot of folks in the Space A community are going to be disappointed by this change, but if the analysis showed that it will result in a significant savings of taxpayer dollars, then it's the right thing to do. Also, keep in mind that you can still get to Germany and Northern Europe. And once you're there, getting to the rest of Europe is easy and inexpensive on commercial carriers. Finally, if you've had an experience with the Patriot Express, either good or bad, please leave us a message in the comments below and let us know how it went for you. Once again, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with a fellow veteran who's been curious about Space A travel. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates on military travel, retirement, and veterans benefits. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the terminal.